We're unboxing the JOYALENS 249MS digital microscope today. Let's get to it. So here is our box containing everything for our microscope. So let's get the box open. Usually that's the pad that goes there. We got here. So we have our instruction manual and we have a quick start guide. It looks like here for the scoop. I'm looking at. So the packaging is actually pretty good, considering that they've got this pad, and then for what I see here, everything being included. So obviously here's our scope part. Let's start digging some of this out. So this looks like our control. So I see a USB-C. That's probably for powering the monitor. A USB-A connector. That's probably an input. And then a DC barrel jack, probably for the lights on the base, I would guess. And then these are our controls. Okay, I see power, plus and minus. These look like probably for controlling the output on the barrel jack here for the lights. So that looks like a controller. What we got here? We have our HDMI cable, mini to full size. So if we want to connect this up to an HDMI external monitor, I guess we can do that. Alright, let's pull our scope out. This is a 10.1 inch screen, and that's a pretty good sized display. There's our scope right there. Let's actually pull it out. And I'm getting my fingerprints already on the screen. That's kind of expected, but at least it's got a protector. I can peel that off later. And there's our little infrared, looks like, for the remote control. See, I guess this will pivot. Yes, it will pivot because we need it to go like that when we get it onto our stand. Of course, there's our connections. We got our HDMI, USB, and a microSD card slot. Probably takes 32 gigs. I have a card available I can put in there. I don't quite have one with it. We got a USB power brick, so we need a USB to USB-C cable. Let's see. Well, here's our remote control. So we can control our display. Let's see. What we got here. Okay, this looks like a light brick. This is probably for looking at microbiology and stuff like that. Microscope slides. You put them across here and the light will shine up through there to illuminate it. So that's probably the block for that. Got some thumb screws. Let's see. I believe this is our bug box for looking at insects and stuff. And let's see, we got some microscope slides. It's actually got some samples in there. It looks like the top one here says pine stem. So I guess we have some microscope slide samples in there. Got some tweezers. And we got the little hold downs for the base for like holding PCBs and stuff when we're working with the PCB work. What's this? Oh, I think that's on the bottom. And then here are our other two lenses. We already have a lens on the monitor over here. These are our other two lenses to use with it. This side over here. Let's take this part out. Well, actually, I take it back. It does come with a microSD card. 32 gigabytes, so we got our microSD card. And then here is our base. So let's see. Yeah, that's one of our flexible lights. Let's get out the way. So there's part of our stem. So our microscope's going to go here. And this will allow it to be able to move in and out, like so. And then we can go up and down as well. That's one part of the base. Here's the main base itself. Got two flexible lights. Oops, something just went flying. I think it was a screw. Luckily, it landed in the box. Luckily. Let's see. There's our column. I wonder if there were supposed to be two of these screws. They go here. Where does it go on? Oh, it goes on the bottom. Ah, because it fell out. One of these screws is not secured on the bottom here. That's why it came out. Screw must have not been put in during manufacturing. I'll just hand tighten that down for now. That's holding this part onto the base. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else in the box here. Alright, let's get all the foam pieces back in. Move all this stuff aside and get to assembling the microscope. There. This here. This side. Alright, let's get that aside. Now the only thing is, let me see. Okay, it does have a hex wrench in here, so let's go ahead and fix that before we get too far here. I'll assume that their hex wrench in here will fit the screws on the bottom. It does. And that one's nice and tight. This one had not been put in. It was missing. Okay, now we got that. Now we're ready to do some assembly. Let's look at our quick start guide. So our components list, so we obviously have our microscope monitor. We pulled that out. Our base is right here. Our beam, which of course is this piece here. Our column, that's this section. Screws, spring, and metal clasps, or all these, and of course we have all our other components like the cables and whatnot. So step one is we need to insert a column and thread it into that. So let's see. And now, this is the part that's going to hold the monitor. So let's see if I can move our lights out the way for the moment. Threaded. I think this can move a little bit from that hex nut down there. Let's see. Okay, it's angled this way, so this nut needs to be loosened up down here because we need to get that set back a little bit. Now let's see. Okay, so we're back. So I had to take a suction wrench, one of these, a 12mm, and loosen this nut, which I shouldn't. There's two things I need to point out here for the manufacturer since this was provided for review. Is number one, this arrived over tightened from the factory, which is why I needed to use a socket wrench like that to get enough leverage to break that loose to adjust this, because again, it was angled forward like this. But the other problem is, and the camera can probably pick this up as well, is that it's also angled like this off to the side. And we can see this with my level which I was using. You see the bubble there is off to the side. If I pull it like this, it's now level. So I am going to have to shim the bottom side over here. As you see, there's a gap over here and there isn't over here, so I'm going to have to shim this to bring that back to one side. Otherwise the whole scope's going to be off at an angle, and that's going to affect its usability, which is a major issue with this. So anyway, let's continue assembling the scope, and we will get to that issue later down the road. So yeah, that is one thing about this. So not, again, we had the screw that was also not in place as well, so that was also something that was a bit of an issue. So now what we need to do is put the arm on there. Let's see. So where does this go? Yes, it goes like this. So, tighten the screws. So get that clamped there. And get this one clamped here just for that. Looks like that part. And we can make minor adjustments like that. That's nice to see. Let me bring this back some. That part. Let's see, tighten the screws. So step 3. Screws and remove the lens. So I need to take the lens off of this here. Take the screws out. Alright, there's our lens. The lens over here. Let's get this part down like that. And slide it in. Sure these screws are far enough back on it. Let's thread it all the way in. It's got the screws threaded in. Reorient this camera a bit. See my reflection there. I got this zoomed out as far as I can. There's our monitor. And let's see. Put the lens back on. We of course can install these parts. We're not going to. We're not using that part either. So we don't need too much. So I'll go ahead and put lens A back in there. Okay, and it's got grooves, so that way it stays aligned. See. Hey guys, Brian here. Do me a favor and click that like button down below, and while you're at it, go ahead and click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content when I post it. See you guys in the next one.